Exciting enhancements are on the horizon for the iPhone 17 series, set to debut later this year. While we anticipated numerous upgrades, a change in screen size was not on our radar until now. Display analyst Ross Young has revealed that we should expect a slight increase in the display size of the base iPhone 17 model. The iPhone 17 will expand from a 6.12-inch display to a more generous 6.27 inches. In contrast, the iPhone 17 Pro will maintain the same dimensions as its predecessor, the iPhone 16 Pro, which we believe will remain unchanged. Unlike the Pro and Air variants, which will feature new camera bars, the iPhone 17 will see minimal design alterations. This makes the change in screen size particularly noteworthy. While the iPhone 17 may not boast a plethora of design updates, the increase in screen size is significant. It remains unclear how Apple plans to achieve this enhancement. One possibility is that Apple could slightly enlarge the overall dimensions of the device to accommodate the additional 0.15 inches of screen area, though this seems unlikely. A more plausible approach would be to reduce the bezels, similar to the strategy employed with the iPhone 16 Pro, allowing for a larger display within the same footprint. This minor adjustment could yield significant benefits not only by providing additional screen real estate, but also by enhancing the device's aesthetic appeal, as thinner bezels typically contribute to a sleeker appearance. In terms of overall design, the iPhone 17 is unlikely to diverge significantly from its predecessor, the iPhone 16. Unlike other models that will feature redesigned backs, current renderings and dummy models suggest that the iPhone 17 will maintain the same vertically stacked dual-lens camera configuration. There are rumors that the dynamic island may shrink further on the iPhone 17 Pro, thanks to the introduction of a new metal lens for Face ID. However, this change is unlikely to extend to the entry-level model. We may, however, see the introduction of a ProMotion display on the non-Pro versions, a feature that many have long anticipated from Apple. This enhancement would mean that the iPhone 17 and iPhone 17 Air displays would no longer be limited to a modest 60 Hz refresh rate. Instead, users could enjoy an adaptable refresh rate ranging from 1 Hz to 120 Hz, resulting in a significantly smoother visual experience and reduced power consumption. Other anticipated improvements include vapor chamber cooling, Apple-designed batteries with enhanced performance, and the new A19 chipset, which is being developed using TSMC advanced 3nm technology. However, we will not have definitive information until Apple's formal launch event, which is expected to take place in September, as is customary. In addition to hardware updates, there are indications that Apple may also be considering a rebranding of its future iPhone software updates, moving away from the traditional iOS 19 designation. This potential change may extend to other Apple applications as well. As Apple prepares for its Worldwide Development Conference 2025 Developers Conference in the coming weeks, we anticipate a comprehensive interface revamp across all software that powers its phones, desktops, tablets, and wearables. Alongside these stylistic modifications, Apple is reportedly planning to standard. According to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman, Apple is reportedly planning to transition to a year-based naming convention for its software updates. This means that the anticipated iPhone software upgrade, previously expected to be designated as iOS 19, will instead be named iOS 26, reflecting the year 2026. This naming strategy aligns with Apple's goal of creating a more unified user experience across its various applications. Codenamed Solarium, this redesign is anticipated to feature more transparent panels and rounded icons, drawing inspiration from the Vision OS interface used in Apple's Vision Pro headset. The rationale behind adopting a consistent appearance across devices is to enhance the overall user experience. This same principle appears to extend to the naming convention of the operating systems. Currently, Apple's various operating systems have distinct version numbers, such as iOS 18, macOS 15, and watchOS 12. Under the proposed system, users would no longer need to remember specific version numbers. Instead, they could simply refer to the year of release. In related news, the long-awaited iPhone battery update may be included with the upcoming iOS 19. However, recent rumors suggest that Apple will not label its next mobile operating system as iOS 19, but rather skip ahead to iOS 26, following the trend set by Samsung. The upcoming update for Apple devices promises more than just a new name. It is rumored to introduce a long-awaited battery charging feature that will allow users to see the estimated time remaining until their smartphone is fully charged. While this may not be a groundbreaking addition in the realm of smartphones, Google Pixel devices have offered a similar feature on their lock screens for some time. It is nonetheless an exciting development for iPhone users who will appreciate having this additional information at their fingertips. Currently, when an iPhone is charging, users can see the percentage of battery charged, which is certainly useful. However, it does not provide any indication of how long the device will take to reach a full charge. This new feature will be particularly beneficial for those who are pressed for time and need to know how long they must wait for their phone to be ready for use. This revelation, first reported by Bloomberg earlier this month, initially went largely unnoticed. In the article, Mark Gurman mentioned that a lock screen indicator will display the estimated charging time, enhancing the user experience. While this feature may not be as transformative as the anticipated visual overhaul expected in the next version of iOS, it is a valuable addition that will enhance daily interactions with the iPhone. In recent months, Apple has shifted much of its focus toward artificial intelligence, but the significant Solarium UI update for iOS 26 may represent a renewed emphasis on user experience. Furthermore, for those who may not favor the upcoming changes, Apple is reportedly working on simplifying the process of transferring an eSIM to Android devices. It is important to note that Apple is taking a different approach this time, utilizing the year following the launch rather than the launch year itself. Although the new operating systems are expected to debut in September alongside the iPhone 17, they will be designated as iOS 26, similar to how automotive manufacturers label their latest models, which typically arrive in the fall. Mark Gurman has established a strong reputation for accurately reporting on developments related to Apple, leading us to anticipate that he will provide further insights in the coming weeks. However, it is important to note that Apple has declined to comment on the proposed name change, and reports suggest that the proposal is still under consideration. We will gain more clarity on the Solarium project and the rebranding of operating systems during the upcoming Worldwide Developers Conference 2025, scheduled for June 9. This event is expected to be one of the most significant worldwide developers conference in nearly a decade. In another development, pricing may become a contentious issue for the iPhone 17 Pro Max. One expert has predicted that the entire iPhone 17 series could see a price increase, especially following the iPhone 16's narrow avoidance of a price hike. This situation is further complicated by the Trump administration's proposed tariffs, which could potentially raise the cost of the iPhone 17 Pro Max to $2,300. As of now, a court ruling has temporarily blocked these tariffs, but the situation remains fluid. While other iPhone models have not experienced significant price increases in recent years, the Pro Max variant has seen notable changes. Apple eliminated the 128 gigs option for the iPhone 15 Pro Max, opting instead for a minimum of 256 gigs of storage. Although the price for the 256 gigs iPhone 15 Pro Max remained the same as that of the 256 gigs iPhone 14 Pro Max, this change effectively raised the entry price by $100. This trend continued with the iPhone 16 Pro Max. We are closely monitoring how tariffs may impact the pricing of the iPhone 17. While the exact release date for the iPhone 17 Pro Max remains uncertain, Apple typically adheres to a consistent annual schedule. Historically, the company unveils new iPhone models during the first or second week of September, with pre-orders commencing shortly thereafter. The official release usually follows about a week later. At this stage in the rumor cycle for the iPhone 17 Pro Max, there is still much we do not know about the device. However, the information that has emerged thus far is intriguing. One notable rumor suggests an increase in the resolution of the telephoto lens, which would be a welcome enhancement. Conversely, concerns arise from speculation regarding a reduction in optical zoom capabilities. Additionally, the potential for quicker battery removal could prove advantageous in certain situations. Regarding design changes, I remain uncertain about the direction Apple will take. It would be surprising if the company abandoned its signature square-shaped camera layout. Nevertheless, I find the design of the Pixel appealing, and it would be interesting to see how Apple innovates to differentiate its devices further, especially with numerous sources indicating a new aesthetic is on the horizon. Although several months remain until the anticipated launch of the iPhone 17 series, it is important to recognize that developments may occur in the interim. We must exercise patience as we await further leaks and insights that will shape our understanding of this upcoming release. So, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel